This is Tracy when she's about 2 years old. As you can see, red hair, green eyes. Cute little thing. And then this is how you all know her. It's her senior picture. So, still cute as ever. Of course, me again. Tracey. As we're all getting a little bit older.
Anyway, Tracey was playing one time on the team, and when I walked him out to her, she closed her eyes and caught it. I wish that's how she caught it. She closed her eyes, caught the ball.
Here's Christmas. One of our Christmases. We were jumping from the top bunk to the dresser, to my bed, down, climb up the back to the top bunk, down, and she missed this back step and hurt herself on the bunk beds. We doing what we weren't supposed to be doing. Here's Tracy and my mom who's down in Tennessee. Tracy here, my sister Angie and my mom, my Aunt Lucille.
Tracy wanted a horse, so we ended up got her a horse for her birthday one time.
Sassafras.
Yeah, the horse wouldn't let her ride her, she'd lay down on her. She'd get off of her recording, let the horse go, and the horse would back right.
Jerry, my cousin DJ. There's us 3 girls on the couch at Christmas time. She wrote an article in
the newspaper. Had her poem in there and everything. Good poem. And she do stuff like that. And she helped anybody. She always wanted to help.
There's the 4 of us together. Us 4 kids. See her smile. There's us at Easter all dressed up on our long dresses. Surprised we don't have our bonnets on. She worked 2 jobs. She worked part-time at Barrett Shoes and part-time at Aileen's. That was her. She always told me that I was gonna grow up and get married and I was gonna have kids and my husband was gonna leave me and I was gonna end up having to come live with her and her boyfriend at the time because she's gonna have to take care of me because I was totally irresponsible, she would tell me.
But everything we just heard about Tracey would shortly change.
She didn't get to see my sister get married. She didn't get to see me get married. She didn't get to see my brother get married. We didn't get to see if there was going to be any more little redheads running around because she never got the opportunity to be a mom.
March 15th, 1989. It was 15 minutes before closing time. Tracey was left alone to clean up the store and add up the day's receipts. 2 hours later, a security guard noticed that the lights were still on in the store and that the front door was unlocked. When the guard called out for Tracey, he got no response. He went into the store to investigate, and that's when, in the back storage room, he found Tracey's lifeless body.
Yeah, you don't really think that, that your daughter's gone, but, for a while, you just go blank. You don't know what, can't do nothing.
Tracey, who could she, why Tracey, I was the one that, I was going to the clubs and I was going places where I probably shouldn't have been and doing the things that I shouldn't have been. If it was something like that was going to happen to somebody, I was in the areas that it probably should have happened and not her. She was a good kid and she was working and you would never think that, you go to your job that morning and you're not going to come home because somebody come in and kills you at the job that you're working. You're supposed to be safe. She wasn't safe. She should have never been there by herself.
Parents, Diane and Bill Kirkpatrick, arrived soon after to learn of her murder. Police found no motive for it, and detectives were baffled.
She didn't get home when she was supposed to, and then my wife started coming in town. And I pulled into the plaza, seen all the cars, and knew something happened. Of course, they wouldn't let us go in.
Mom was already in shock. They were already treating her for shock. Mom went in instant shock. And then we all started gathering at the hospital. Family started coming in at that point.
The security guard that was working there, he found her. They don't know why this happened. There was nothing stolen.
27 years later, the murder remains unsolved. Family still wonders who killed Tracey Kirkpatrick.
Somebody she knew. And for the next 20 years, that's about where it's been. Police officers come and they work on it, they retire, another one come over, they take over. Chiefs have changed, I think, 4 times.
With the end result, that lead went nowhere. That didn't pay off.
They're the same place. They're the same place they was 2 weeks after it happened. They have 2 suspects, and that's it.
I think the person that come in there was probably there, probably right before closing, snuck in. Now they keep saying she let him in. She knew who there was. I'm not convinced of that, because there's only a handful of people that she probably would have trusted enough to let in. They came there with the intentions that if they can't have her, nobody will. She wasn't going to live after that point. They caught her by surprise, First she turned her back on him and they got her from behind because they didn't come at her from the front. And then to take her as brutally as they took her, the first stab wound, took her. She was.
Many people believe that the security guard, in fact, killed Tracey. A year later, a man by the name of Don, the same name as the security guard, called a confession hotline confessing to the crime.
The girl I killed was working in a ladies' sportswear store. Often came by and talked to her when she was working alone. And one night when she was in the storeroom and we were talking, our conversation turned into an argument. And so I took out a knife I have with me at all times and I killed her. And a few days later, I realized I'd created a lot of sadness. And I thought about turning myself in to the police, but whatever they do to me, that won't bring Tracey back. So I've decided that I better keep free because we have the death penalty in Maryland. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry about what I did, but nothing can change it. Bye.
Someone had made a phone call in and claimed his name was Don, and that he had killed her. We thought, oh, okay, he finally grew a conscience. Did he actually? Is this the killer? Did he actually do it? The excitement goes through, and you're thinking, okay, well then, once the investigation took place and they investigated and they found out who it was, that was too simple, And then you get, your hopes gets up, and then you get let down.
The psychic later came forward claiming that a man, Sean, was obsessed with her murder and was constantly trying to contact her. The psychic claims that she recognized the voice of Don as the man named Sean.
I'd always had a superstition to the case. Now, I might not be the psychic who was directly tied to the case, but here in the psychic realm, there's a lot of mixed energies that can be communicated and processed by simply thinking about one subject. And with the Kirkpatrick trace, I could, follow along with the medium and really envision what she had been thinking. And me, myself, I believe that Tracey Kirkpatrick was, in fact, a botched case. A girl like this did not go unsolved for a specific reason. She was set up. This case was botched, and it was an inside job, is what I believe. I've had the superstition that this case is an inside job, and that the killer is still in the area.
As it became more evident that the security guard could easily be Tracey's killer, and that Sean and Don could be the security guard, we reached out to a family friend to find out more information about the security guard.
Alright, and I am recording.
I am a family friend of the Barnes, the security guard that found.
Is there anything that you'd like to share about the case or who the security guard was as a person?
He was with the police department at the time. He was residing as a security guard. He had discovered the body. His father at the time was a sheriff and well known. And it has been a theory for many years that his father had covered up for him this crime. Whether or not that's true, I don't think so. At the time, he was very young. Later on, he continued his career at a higher level, not a local level. I know that later on they said that they had DNA samples that were taken. I don't think that he would have been able to continue a job working at that level had they had the DNA evidence or anything like that on him. As far as whether or not he's done this, anyone who knows him or has any sort of insight into this case has, the doubt about him doing this. There are many more likely scenarios. It's a tragic case, and I can promise you that this family and their friends wish just as much as anyone else that this were solved.
Today, the case remains unsolved. Police have since identified the man named Don and the man named Sean and believe that he had nothing to do with the murder. However, they have since narrowed down their list of suspects to 2 people, and while they say they probably can't get enough to conviction at this point, they believe an indictment is possible. DNA testing of samples found at the scene began in March 2009. However, the killer still has yet to be identified or apprehended.
My mom and dad are, in their 70s, 60s and 70s, and I don't want them going to their grave not knowing why their daughter's gone. And for what reason. There's no sense in it. She should have never went the way that she did. And, so, if you know something, please come forward.
Scientific stuff's going to get you. DNA is, if I could identify a king that was 400 years old, they're going to get you. Anyway, also, if you didn't turn yourself in,